After all the talk, it's time for football, and here we go. Super Bowl 55 is underway. This will be taken short. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember meeting him when he was playing at Cal, and I remember walking away thinking, instead of having Rodgers stitched on the back of his jersey, it should just say confidence, because that's how he felt about his own abilities and his ability to elevate a team.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
And the play of this offensive line is going to be so important in this game because we saw the sack a minute or so ago. They've got to be able to give their guy time to throw. That means communication and being physical is vital. Otherwise, this could be a long game.
On play action, now Rodgers. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. White now to return. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. With a first touchdown of this Super Bowl and a long one at that, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And on the grandest of stages, with the whole world watching the Super Bowl, they come out and get the first points.
I don't know how you feel about it, Brandon, but for me, watching the beginning of the Super Bowl, I've often wondered how come it's not just a fumble fest? How come the ball's not all over the place? The nerves, the interim in between of the 2 weeks waiting for the game. But this team came out and handled it just like it was a regular season walk in the park. Terrific start.
Gostkowski with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion, guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
Boy, you go 3 and out on your first drive, and that's not the way you want to start this drive either. Doesn't seem like they're really into it just yet.
No, first 4 plays, you don't want to call it a disaster, but not looking very sharp. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. And quickly, let's check out the New England defense.
Dante Hightower is a prototypical run-stuffing inside linebacker who has the ability to go to the edge and rush the passer, and there's no better example than when he had the strip sack against Matt Ryan in Super Bowl 51.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. On the return, it's White. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. So here come the Patriots now to take over on offense. Well, they're led out by a guy who's done just about everything you could ever imagine to do in this league, the great Tom Brady.
It's been a lot of fun watching him develop in his career. But that will to win, he's had that probably since birth. And it transmits itself throughout his entire ball club. Watching him play, it can be an absolute joy unless you're on the other team.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Sony Michel, his first carry. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Patriot first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
So you say go Patriots. Yeah, yeah.
Brady now on 1st down. Steps away to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep back over the middle. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down. Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run it here. This is James White. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Brady. That's complete to White. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, New England. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with the battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2.
Let's have a little bit of fun right here. Let's see if I can do this.
Shotgun now for Brady. And this will be caught. So the try for 2, good. And it pushes him out to a 15-0 lead. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum? Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's Rodgers. A dump underneath to Jones. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd and 10 now. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 15-0 our score. It's the NFL on EA Sports. They wound up getting nothing out of that 2nd down completion, so now here's 3rd and 10. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
But sweet ice falling from the sky. Yeah.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A good pickup there, 21 yards.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Well, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
He got 29 yards that time.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that?
Hey, set. Play 20. QB drop. Watch QB drop. Check it.
Now a first down carry. It's Michel. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Sony Michel, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. He's having a nice little game. Maybe already has an eye on that 3rd touchdown.
And how about what our producer, Christian McLeod, likes to say when they've scored touchdowns like this? He's put a tent up in Touchdown City.
Extra point try for Gostkowski. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. So that drive, 4 plays. And it was Sony Michel's touchdown scamper that polished the drive off. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now the Packers get set to go. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Like everybody's doing well.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. John Simon just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. To throw, it's Rodgers. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his running back, Aaron Jones, that time. And that'll make it 3rd down. The Packers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 17. Throwing is Rodgers. And that will be incomplete.
Yeah, that's right. Punting option. Yeah.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. It's taken to the 26. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return.
Here we go.
Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And this unit has been set up nicely here in this one thanks to some great punt returns that we get a look at.
And they did kind of give us a hint about that in our pregame meeting, didn't they? They felt like they had a good scheme prepared for this game, that they could use whatever return they had on to create big yardage. And, boy, have they been right about that.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
That throw by Brady, incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Brady gives to Michelle. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Brady going to try and throw on 3rd down, eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Brady's throw there complete. A big play there for New England. 45 yards.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he's over the line and into the end zone for a Patriot score. Sony Michel with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. So he's in for his 3rd score of the game, and a defense probably saying, man, we don't want to see this guy for a long time.
It's bad enough when anyone scores a touchdown against you, but for one person to get 3, it almost sets him apart from the rest of the game, and no one likes to see any of those players on a pedestal, not from the defensive point of view.
Gostkowski the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it was Sony Michel's touchdown scamper that polished the drive off. Gostkowski now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line.
Hey, let's go.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Offense marching back onto the field, and our focus shifts here to Sony Michel. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
But now here's a deep shot that's complete. Give him 30 yards there.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. It's been an easy day for him.
Brady deferring to White on the draw. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
25, round 80, round 80. We want it. Come to my one.
Second and 5 now. Brady. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. From the gun, it's Brady. He'll buy some time right. He can run for it, and he will. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. On the draw, it's White. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal. They'll try again here from the 7 on second and goal. Brady going to throw. It's caught. This is White. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
Boy, I guess they're going to keep trying to put the pedal to the metal here. They're going to try an onside kick. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. So we've reached halftime here in Super Bowl 55. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment. Thus far, this Super Bowl has looked less like a contest and more like a coronation. And to call the second half, let's get it right back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams ready after the halftime spectacle, and we are back underway in Super Bowl 55. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The spotlight now focuses on the quarterback, and that's Tom Brady. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. 23 yards on the pick. Up there and a first.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Here's Brady. Flush to his right. He'll try and run it. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On first down, Michelle. Vanderbilt's own Oren Burks had the tackle defensively.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through.
It's caught at the 10. A gain of 32 that time. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So now following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. He's going to have the hook up to Izzo. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A gain of 7 that time. Second and goal. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? They'll try and run it with White. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Brandon, at some point, these defenders absolutely have to say, we've just got to make a stand. We've had enough of this.
Giving up a lot of points in this game, but look better on that play.
We got three, Grant.
Brady now on third and goal, and he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's fourth down. Boy, such a good drive. You'd hate to have it end in 3. Do you think about going for it?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that they've moved the ball so well should lead you to the decision that maybe we should go for it right here. Also, as a head coach, show some confidence in your team. Let them know you think they can go get it.
They go for it on fourth and goal, but that winds up incomplete. He had 3 touchdowns already, but won't get a fourth here. And the Packer defense stands tall down by the goal line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at that time, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs, and we'll still get the first down. They love being physical.
Rodgers on the money to the tight end, Graham. And down he'll go at the 25. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Now Jones. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And they're going to have a third down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Throwing now is Rodgers. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up fourth down. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive. They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That they're
in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
The backup Stidham, his first throw, flushed out right. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. One quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Let's see what you got. Big grip.
On 3rd down, Michelle. Give him 8 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the 1st down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Rodgers going to throw. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Now it's Rodgers, and he's got his target. That's Moore. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the 1st.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a 1st.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots 14. Rodgers now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Here's Jones. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And Super Bowl 55 down to the final 2 minutes. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Rodgers. And it's caught. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
Let's go.
Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
One back in the game. That's Jones, second and goal.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there.
Rodgers now to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And that will knock this down to still a very large 29-point deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Keep playing hard.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now Michelle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Go! 30 base. We own them. We own them. Get it.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Preston Smith charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Watch that in. Watch that in.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Sliding out of the pocket. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. The Patriots come up empty on 4th down, and that will force a turnover on downs. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches, as a general rule, that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left.
Patriots win their second Super Bowl. Cheer.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Here's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. One final try for Rodgers. We've seen this before. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. And it's another Super Bowl title for the New England Patriots. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.
And they are the Super Bowl champs. The Lombardi Trophy is theirs, and so are bragging rights for an entire season. What a season it has been. Feels like we have been there every step of the way. Our entire crew doing a wonderful job. Thanks to my broadcast partner, Charles Davis. For all those guys, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. We'll talk to you next season right here on EA Sports. All combine stats, such as the 40-yard dash, are now available in scouting.